Hello and welcome to PedigreePro Sheep Management Software Program. And on this video I'm going to talk you through some of the benefits of PedigreePro as well as showing you a few tips on how to use the software. So we're going to start with looking at the main screen, which has the dashboard, and you can see on there this is my flock that's being shown. I've just clicked on flock there and you can see all my animals there listed on the screen. To start with, we're going to go up to add a sheep. So if we go to add sheep, we click on the tag number and enter. I'm going to enter a test tag number. This number has to be unique, so you can't use the same number twice. You would normally either use your UK number or your pedigree number. Next, it's got a name. You can see it's pulled my flock name from the profile that we entered when we first logged on. So I'm going to call this animal Celadike Tester. Here's this UK number. You'll have that to hand somewhere. If you don't have it to hand, it doesn't matter. You can go back and add it later. And there's also a field for the pedigree tag. So if you haven't used your pedigree tag in the first one, then this one there, you can see that's my flock number. And then we're going to add a suffix on that of whatever this year's number and letter is. Date of birth. You click on that one and enter a date. We've got whatever sex it is, what breed it is. We've got that it's born as 1 or 2, and the color. So all the basic things that you put in there. Now, when we get to the owned by field, we need to make sure that the owned by field is correct, because those only the animals that are owned by you will be showing up in your own flock list. Select a location. We drop down the locations. I've entered these somewhere else. I'll show you where in a minute. And then the sire and dam. We can pick the sire and dam from a list of drop-down animals which I've already entered. So if we click that drop down there for sire, we can see a list of animals. So I drop down there and there's a list of animals there. The animals will appear on that list. And from there we click the add animal button, add sheep button, and you'll see that the animal then appears on our list. And this is quite a large list there, so if you can't find it, I'll just type in the search box there, test, I think our animal was called, and there it is appearing on the list in the flock. You can click on that animal and go in and look at its details. You can see here I've entered a pedigree tree already for this particular sire and dam, so we've got its ancestors going all the way back. Interactive pedigree tree means you can click on any one of those animals, that'll bring that forward and you can look at their details. And we can go there and have a look at the animal's details. I can edit that, maybe pop back in if I've made a mistake or got something wrong. I can go in there and just quickly change that. That's from a double to a single, you can see. Go there, have a look at the treatments. Hasn't been any treatments to this animal yet because we've only just entered it. Likewise, we click on the offspring, and there's no offspring from that animal. It's just a lamb. So there's the details of the animal. You can go in there and edit all that. So we can go back and have a look at our main screen. There you see I've got 30 sheep that are owned and it shows you the location. And let's just go and have a look at the settings part of this. So if we click on the top right hand icon and go to settings, we can go down and have a look, see what's in here. And you get all the usual things that you expect to get in settings, but we've got a button here that allows me to export all the data, and that will send everything out of the database into a spreadsheet, and we'll look at that in a second. We can go in there, we can click this button, that will send out the animals that are not registered, so you can use that to maybe send to the Breed Society, and there's facilities for changing passwords and for upgrading the subscription, and tells you a little bit about the software. So the usual stuff you'd expect there in settings. And also by clicking up on this profile button, you can go in there and edit your profile and go in and change things that you entered originally when you started to set up the pedigree software. So let's just talk through a few of these other features in here. This is the location. So there's a list of all the locations that I've already entered. And let's go along and quickly add another location. So we can click there. So we can put the name of the location. And then underneath it we have CPH number. And of course those of you in Britain will know what a CPH number is, a county parish holding number. In other parts of the world this will be a different type of number, but it's a number that represents your holding. And just needs to put that in there accurately, because that's where we're going to declare our movements to and from. We're putting a brief description of this paddock just for our own reference. And there you can see the location there showing up on the location screen. You can go back in, delete that or edit it or do whatever you want with it. So that's locations pretty much covered. If we go on to breeders, I have a list of breeders in here. At the moment, the breeders table doesn't correlate with the animals that are in this software, which is something that we're working on at the moment, but it'll allow you to put a list of pedigree breeders in there and all my details if you want. If we go to medical treatments, you can see those are the medical treatments I've already entered on the screen, and to enter one we can go select all, it'll show all your flock, or we can just individually pick one and make a treatment of that one. So let's pick out this top lamb here and add a treatment to it. It's asking for the date, which we'll put in as today. Penicillin I've written in there, dosage, and batch number, those things that we do need to keep records of, and of course withdrawal period. And the withdrawal period I'll put in here, we put it in a number of days, and then that will show up in the software, not allowing you to sell that animal whilst it's in that withdrawal period. And we'll put in maybe a reason why we gave that, that dosage to that particular lamb. Bearing in mind this is just a test. And then when we click that list, we can see those animals there, and it's showing at the top of the list there the animals that are in that withdrawal period, and you can also see that when you click on the animal's own details, and it will show you the animal. And it'll show you the animal's details. When we click on it, we'll see there's the treatment that is in there. That's showing that it's still within the withdrawal period, and therefore you shouldn't be selling it. So that's pretty much covers it on medicines. Fairly simple but straightforward. We also have prizes in here for those of you that have pedigree sheep and like to take them to a show. We keep a list of all the prizes and records that you have, and you can simply enter a new show that you've been to there, the animal that's been there. You can see from the drop down list and what the animal's won, and the prize money as well if you want to keep a collection of that. And also if you can enter the name of the cups that you've won at that show, then that comes in as a handy reference. And of course, keeping a record of prizes that sheep have won there goes very well when you come to sell these animals at a later date and you've forgotten which ones are going where. So there we can see that animal I've just entered a prize in there, and it's showing up on the list of prizes. So movement records, again, we must keep an accurate record of movements. These movement records are entered individually, so you could go into the animal. If you click on a particular animal, let's just find that lamb that we entered earlier on. And we see the lamb showing up on that list. We click on its details and go down to record movement, and you can see there's the movement screen comes up there, and you can select the animal, the location, and put that in there with the CPH numbers, and of course record that, and then that will show up as a movement on the movement screen. And also you'll be allowed to export those. You can export movements, all of them, or export between specific dates. So that's pretty much movement. There's the export button up there in the top corner. So that's exported a spreadsheet out there, and you can then use that for your references for the ministry or any other inspections that you need. Now let me show you how easy this software is to use. We've got a sort facility on this screen. So this is the main screen which you can filter by, but you can click sort and sort the animals by name or by age, or all the columns. You can sort them up and down, so it makes it easy to find the particular animals, and you can sort them. Also, you can filter them by location, so you can find all the animals in one particular field, or all the animals of one color, or various other things in there. So it's a fairly straightforward system there. Something if you've used in a spreadsheet before, of course, is there, but much more simple on PedigreePro software program. So you can see all the animals there that I have on this list. Quite a lot of them, because I've put all the ones in there that are not owned. If normally would show to default to the animals that's owned. Those are all the ones that are in that one test paddock that I put earlier on when we made that movement. Let me go into adding a few more extra sheep. I mentioned earlier on with the pedigree system, to populate the pedigree, we need an individual record for each animal that is historic ancestor. So all those animals back in that pedigree have their own individual record. So I'm entering a quick one in here. We'll just call it another test ram. And we don't need to fill in all the details. We just want the basic information about that animal so that it shows up on the pedigree tree. So I'm just going through entering a few of these fields. When it comes to the date, the date needs to be earlier than the animal that it's going to be an ancestor of, which makes sense. So what I tend to do is just throw in a fictitious date. Maybe I've put in there maybe 2015, and that makes the animal 10 years old, and then it's in the historic past. We go down, it's a Ryle, and we need obviously its sex, that it's a ram. And the only other information we probably need to put in that it's not owned, because we don't own it, and then we find its sire and its dam. In this case, there aren't any sires and dams on there, of course, so we just save it. And now if we want to, we can go in and find a particular animal and then use that, add that ancestor to its history. So let me show you how we do that. So here's a snapshot of a pedigree of an animal that I bred. This is from somebody else's software, just to print out. So I can go in there, search for that animal, click on it, and then look at its pedigree. And if we go into look at its pedigree details, we see its sire and dam are in there. But if we go to its pedigree, we see we've got a pedigree back for a couple of generations. So I'm going to click on one of the ones further back there and then go into that one, bring that forward, and go into that and put its ancestors in there. So we're going to go in there now. I found that animal. I'm going to go and edit it, and then click down on the list, and I'll go down to the animal that I entered earlier on, and select that one from the drop down list, and it shows on there. So I'll go back and save changes. When I go into the pedigree tree the next time, there'll be another generation that's been populated. Because so if you are using PedigreePro very much as a pedigree program to monitor your pedigrees, you'll find you do get a lot of animals in there. I've got 30 sheep shown on there. Those are my previous lambs. I've only got 6 ewes. I ended up with 80 sheep in my database. So if you do use the pedigree side of this software, you will need to buy yourself the subscription version, which is £3.95 a month, and that allows you to enter up to 100 animals. What else you'll see in here is we have the great facility to export all the data to an Excel spreadsheet. So you can see here's all the information that we hold on all those animals. We can go in there and sort using basic functions within Excel. We can sort them by various columns up and down and filter and all the things that Excel does so well, rather than just writing loads and loads of complicated reports. And not just the animals it exports, but it'll export all the information for the locations, all the information for movements, all the information for medical treatments, and everything else that you require. Everything else that you've used or put into this software program will be exported there into one simple place. And of course you can manipulate that data as well. You can go in and sort and search and even go in there and maybe collect your prize money, work out how much you've won, work out how much you've sold the animals for, or even get your prize money and total it up there by using the simple functions that are there in Microsoft Excel. PedigreePro also comes with a simple help file there. We've got a little chap down here in this corner. If we click on that, we can enter questions in there and it will come up there and answer it. That is still being worked on at the moment, using some AI functionality that will search amongst all our database there and give you the exact answers to whatever questions you ask it. But you can stick some information in there and it will come up and help you along. And of course, we're there as well with some support. If anybody gets desperately stuck there, it's just an email, and that can be taken care of fairly quickly. So thank you for watching this demonstration of the PedigreePro software package, and I hope that you find this really useful. And it's free. It's free to anybody that wants to use it with under 20 sheep. So we look forward to having you to log into our system, to register yourself, and then go and start entering animals at your heart's content with PedigreePro.